Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday. Excuse me. It's 7:01. It is the 14th of December. We got, 11 days till Christmas. For everybody else, happy Hanukkah. I know that started at sunset today, so hope you had a good first night of Hanukkah with the dreidel and the guilt and all that stuff. Hope you had fun. Hope you had a good week, as good as it can be at being at work. I mean, got to pay the bills, I guess. Hope you had a good weekend, got to relax, do stuff that's really important for yourself and not for somebody else. You got to hang out with your family, do stuff like that. It snowed here last night. I think we got like 2, maybe 3 inches, if that. And then today it was colder today than it was last night, so nothing really melted. And whatever did melt, probably going to refreeze. So there's that. School's already 2 hours late for tomorrow, and it's only 7 o'clock Sunday night. But this is also the same school system that closed schools when it was raining one day because they thought it might turn to ice. Frederick County Public Schools are not known for their blazing intelligence. They are known for abusing special need kids, though. Just ask the DOJ. They'll tell you. I'm not lying. It's online. You can find it. But yeah, I hope your weekend was good. I hope you're getting ready for Christmas. I mean, you still got time. Like I said, you got 11 days left, so it's not crunch time yet. But we're getting there. And again, like I said last Sunday, remember, it's not about going to the debt and getting broke and stressing. You do what you can do. If somebody wants that $25,000 gift, you can't afford it. You can't afford it. Life will go on. It's not about how much you spend. It's about the thought you put behind it. So just remember that. Don't drive yourself insane trying to make everybody happy by getting everybody everything they want. It's not going to happen. Don't go into debt. I think this is also the time of year when there's most suicides and things like that. Because of that, people go stressing out over it. Don't. Really. There's nothing worth all that at all. So, yeah, 11 days, and I'll be on. But, yeah, so I'll be on every Sunday. The Christmas won't affect me. The Pulse will be on this Wednesday. Won't be on the following Wednesday, the week of Christmas. It won't be on. And then New Year's Eve week, the following week, the Pulse won't be on. But I'll be on each because I'm on Sunday, so it doesn't really affect me. Pretty cool, huh? I'm sure that's the Christmas present you all wanted to get from me. Anyway, got a lot to talk about tonight, so we're going to jump right into it. And, the first part of the podcast is usually just breaking news, interesting news, or news that just caught my eye to start the whole podcast off with. So we'll get right into it. Joy Reid, y'all remember this idiot? Yeah, she's back, whining and crying because she got fired from her last job because nobody listened to her, and that upset her. She had like lower viewership than like infomercials. So they fired her, and she cried. Of course, that she was fired because she's black and it's racism. Nothing to do that she has no talent. Nothing to do with that she's a hack. Nothing to do with all she does is whine and cry and complain about white people. That's not why she got fired. It's because it's racism. When in doubt and your IQ is below room temperature, it's always racism. You fall back to what you know. But she's back in the news trying to grab headlines like the attention whore that she is because Jingle Bells is a racist white supremacist song. She wants it banned. I'm not making this up. She's on a pilgrimage now to ban Jingle Bells for its racist undertones. I think as a child she was dropped on her head several times from like the 10th story floor of a building because she is an idiot. But the scary thing is there are idiots that listen to her and agree that Jingle Bells is a racist song. I've listened to it a couple of times, and at no time during that song do I hear him talking about going out front and burning a cross or goose stepping around the yard singing, yelling Heil Hitler. They don't do that. They talk about jingle bells and a horse and snow and going through the woods. Never once did I get the impression that they were talking about being racist or white supremacists. But in this moron's narrow pinhead, it's all racist to her. And again, she was fired for the same stuff from, what was it, CNN? Which is hard to believe. I think CNN fired her because they're a bunch of pinheads with the IQ of a flip-flop. But they fired her. So how bad you got to be fired by morons with a lower IQ than you? How bad does your show have to be? Again, it's racism. She was fired because it's racism. But yeah, so next time you listen to Jingle Bells, you're a racist and you should burn in hell. That's pretty much what she's saying. And I don't want to talk about her anymore because she makes me want to vomit. She's just a goddamn moron that needs to dry up already and blow away. Jesus Christ. Trump bans Pride and Black Lives Matter flags at all American buildings around the world. It's how it should be. If it's an American building in a foreign country, the only flag it should have is the flag of the country is from the U.S. That's it. Don't need to have a Pride flag up. Don't need to put the Black Lives flag up. Those are not, they don't represent the country. The American flag represents the country. And I don't know why this is even controversial. There's no other country in the world that flies their little spoiled brat children's flags at their embassies or buildings because, they have to. We're the only country that acquiesces to assholes. We're the only country that gives in to these morons because they scream and cry. No other country in the world does it. We do. And I'm glad it's stopping. It's time to, put a little respect back in this country. And flying a pride flag or flying the Black Lives Matter flag at an American building in other countries does just the opposite. They laugh. We are a joke. We're talking about I think the lady that started Black Lives Matter recently is being investigated by the FBI for fraud. Like she bought houses, like 5 or 6 houses with the money that was supposed to be going to the movement or some crap like that. And are you shocked? Because what has Black Lives Matter done for the black community since its inception? Absolutely nothing. It has not given any money back to the black community. It hasn't gone into the black community and tried to improve the situation there. It has done nothing except buy mansions. And those idiots keep giving money to Black Lives Matter because they think maybe it'll change. I understand people want to believe something's good. Like, hey, Black Lives Matter. They're looking out for the minority. I really believe they're trying to do something good. How many times do they got to steal your money before you realize they're just hustlers? And they're going to take as much money as you give them, and they're going to spend it on stuff that they need. Like I said, houses. I think she bought 5 mansions with that money. Cars and vacations. How many more houses do they need to buy before you realize, oh, wait, maybe they are just hustlers. Maybe they are just stealing from me. Maybe I should stop giving them my hard-earned money. People can't be that stupid. You can't. You cannot be that dumb. I mean, again, talking about that kind of stuff makes my stomach hurt, makes me want to vomit because I refuse to believe people are that stupid. It's on the news every other month. Black Lives Matter buys a mansion. They're under investigation for fraud and theft, and they still get money. You know what? P.T. Barnum said it best. A fool and his money are soon parted. There you go. And I guess they've just tapped into a whole vein of fools that will continually give them money regardless of what they do. So good for them, I guess. If the hustle's working, keep it going. Bleed them dry, I say. Bleed them dry. In Peru, they officially classified transgender people as mentally ill. This happened last week. And, of course, people who don't live in that country and have nothing to do with that country are upset with that country. It's not our business. I don't care. As long as they're not killing people in the streets that are transgender, I don't care. Classify them as insane. That's fine. They're not mentally well to begin with. So they're just saying, yeah, you're mentally ill, so you need help. We're going to classify as that. And, of course, the American people who not American people, let me rephrase that. Bored, rich white people who feel guilty about stuff they have nothing to do with and have too much free time on their hands are all in open arms about this. This is wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's not your business. It's got nothing to do with you. So just shut up. It's not your country. They don't care what you think. They don't care what we think. They don't care what anybody thinks. They care what Peruvians think. And obviously, enough Peruvians back this. And guess what? Now, if you're transgender, they think you're screwed up in the head. And you probably are. It used to be a mental illness in America until enough people screamed and cried about how wrong that is. And that's some like transgenderism and some other isms. And they were forced to take it out. Normal people do not think they're in the wrong body. That is not the sign of a normal person. I think 1% of the entire world's population, 1% feel that way. So by definition, that makes you abnormal. That's the definition of abnormal. If you don't match the majority of the people in a certain area, you are abnormal. So they are they're already abnormal. So to think so what some people are saying is that they're mentally right. There's nothing wrong with them mentally. Everybody else is crazy. The other 99% of the world is nuts. We're wrong. They're right. They're in the wrong body. And we should just let them do what they want to do. And that's fine. If you're an adult, do what you want to do. You want to whack off your junk, whack off your junk. I don't care. You want to wear a dress, grow boobs, take estrogen, or take testosterone? That's fine. Number one, I'm not going to pay for it. It should not have anything to do with my tax dollars. And I don't want to hear about that shit getting pushed down my kid's throat in school. If you can keep that away like that, have at it. Have at it. I don't think transgenders should have transgender story time in schools. That's an adult thing. Adults should go do that. You have like clubs where they have transgender things. That's fine. Not for kids. Not at all. I don't agree with that. And it brings up another question for transgender people. Why is it only kids you want to read to or kids you want to hang around with? Why don't you go to like other places? Why is it you have to focus on on elementary, middle schools, and they get ticked off and parents don't want you there? What is the attraction to being around smaller children? And I'm not insinuating anything. It's a legitimate question. And if there's a transgender person that watches, and I doubt there is, if there is, let me know why it's so important for you all to be in proximity and preaching to children. What is it? I don't understand it. Make me understand it. Or don't make me, just explain it to me. I tell you right now, I'm not going to get it, but I would like to know why, so that way I can at least explain to other people a little bit better. But yeah, Peru has officially classified transgender people as mentally ill. Now, I don't live in Peru, so I don't know what that means. That might mean now we can like scoop you up and put you in insane asylums. I don't know. But I do know it's not our business. Let's see, it says Peru, not America. Doesn't say Texas or South Dakota or Utah or Vermont. It says Peru, which is an entirely different country, way down south, outside of our border. So we have no say in what they do. Like I said, unless you're killing these people in the streets, which is wrong, then something should be done about it. Short of that, we have nothing to say. That's why they didn't call us up and go, hey, guys, we're thinking about calling transgender people crazy. Are you okay with that? What do you think? They don't care what we think, and we shouldn't care what they think. It's got nothing to do with us. But like I said, we got too many rich white people up here with too much free time on their hands that want to put their nose into stuff that doesn't concern them and then think they're doing the right thing. They're being woke. That's just going to start the next world war. Rich white people trying to make the world better are going to start the war. They're going to tick these people off. Oh, wait, America's first U.S. Hell yes, U.S. Navy. Go Navy. We beat Army, by the way. And I'll talk about that later. We need to get off of this. All the worlds are concerned. We have a right to put our nose into stuff that doesn't concern us, and they need to listen to us. They don't. And I'm not saying that makes them right, makes us wrong, or them wrong and us right. That just makes the way the world is. You don't go to your neighbor's house and tell them they can't read Playboy in their house because you don't agree with it. It's got nothing to do with you. So why is this any different? We have no right to tell another country what to do, as long as, like I said, they're not killing folks. And so far from what I've read, they're not killing anybody. They're just saying they're crazy as shithouse rats. That's all they're saying. So we need to leave these countries alone. It's their business. They handle their people the way they want to handle it. As long as they're not hurting them, we got nothing to say about it. The world's got nothing to say about it. It's just amazing. I mean, you would think this country's perfect and that we have no issues whatsoever here. And all we have time to do now is just like look at other countries and point out what they're doing wrong. You would think that. And don't get me wrong. I don't think people treating people differently based on how they want to live their life or what they want to call themselves is cool. I don't agree with it. If you're going to judge people, judge them on what they do. If they think they're a woman, you know what? Live and let live. Like I said, as long as you're not pushing it on me, as long as I'm not paying for it, and as long as you're not trying to force it on my kids, I don't care. I really don't care what you do. Just keep it to yourself, but they can't do that. like I said, they've got to force it on everybody around. They have to make us accept it as normal. And that's my problem. But if that weren't the case, if they were just living their life like they want to and they weren't involved with anybody else except them and their family, that's fine. Do it. But unfortunately, in this country, everybody has to agree with everybody, or you're a racist, Nazi, homophobe, transphobe, something else phobe, and some type of ism if you're not agreeing with everybody else. So, we need to leave Peru, let Peru do what they want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. Power to them. And if you don't like it and you're transgender, leave Peru. God, why don't I got to come up with everybody's answers for everything? It's been a crazy week, especially down under. They had let me get my notes for this. They had a shooting where at least 11 people were killed in a terror attack targeting the Jewish community celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. Around 1,000 people had gathered on a grassy area at Archer Park. I don't know anything about Australia, so I don't know what that is. And when at least 2, now 3 gunmen opened fire at 6:47 p.m. local time. One suspect was killed at the scene. Good deal. I hope it hurt. The other suspect was injured and taken into custody. I hope that hurt even more and he's still in pain. And police believe a third suspect may have been involved, but they cautioned against speculation as the investigation continues. And since then, there's been a third person. The First Lady opened her remarks by acknowledging the loss felt by families affected by the violence, alongside President Donald Trump at the Christmas reception at the White House. First of all, my thoughts and prayers go to the families of people who lost their loved ones around the world, she said. In this difficult time we are celebrating here at Christmas, and I'm thinking about them and what they're going through. My heart is with them, and that was from the First Lady of the United States. I agree. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, and I'll continue to talk about this on the podcast until there's no need to talk about it on the podcast anymore. I'm over the anti-Semitism, and let me explain why. Not only just because I'm Jewish and I have Jewish family members, not only because I just don't think it's right to hate someone simply because of their religion and not because of something they've done in the name, like Islam, where they kill people in the name of their religion, go out of their way to hurt people that don't follow that religion. If you're just living your life and following your religion, there's no need to kill. These people are celebrating their equivalent to Christmas, not bothering a soul. And of course, I think they found out it was a Pakistani. Let me find that. I'm sorry, now it's changed. At least 16 people were killed, or at least 60 people were shot and killed in an attack targeting Jewish gathering on the first Sunday, blah, blah. The deceased gunman was identified as Naveed Akram, 24, a Pakistani national based in Sydney, according to U.S. intelligence and the driver's license provided by the Australian police. I'm willing to bet they aren't Amish people. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this guy is Muslim. Not that shocks me. Not that should surprise you. Muslims are, in general, very violent people. One of the 2 gunmen, he was one that was in serious condition. The deceased gunman was Naveed Akram. So he got killed. And again, I hope it hurt. Hope he didn't die right away. I hope it was a gut shot. And he lingered for a couple hours before he expired. Shooting at unarmed people celebrating a holiday. Here's the pictures of the, I think 2 or 3 of them that people got while they were shooting. You can't see the crowd that they were shooting at, but I think they were if you're looking at the picture, they're to the left. You can see where they were aiming. Here's a video that shows the shooting. I don't think it shows people getting shot, and if it does, I apologize. But here's a video of the 3 subhumans killing people. That's one of the gunmen shooting. You can see him shooting at people. Thank God he's a poor shot. I think someone's hiding behind their car or in their car getting this film. This person's hiding behind looks like a bench or something. There's a guy on that overpass walkway. I think we'll see him in a second. He'll start popping up and shooting at people. Yeah. Again, I'm not surprised these people are Muslim. Not at all. It's a violent religion that preaches violence and death. It always seems that these tough guys only attack people when they're unaware or unarmed. They don't like fair fights. And you can tell that because Israel's kicking their ass. And when the U.S. got involved, we kicked their ass. Anybody that has a gun, they can't win against. It's just, and I don't want to watch it anymore. Now here's the hearing. This gentleman was identified. I can't remember his name, but he was identified as Australia who disarmed one of the shooters. Let me find his name. I will find it. 1 second. Hold on. I'm sorry. I will find it. I promise. But he was an Australian. I can't find it. He was an Australian gentleman who rushed up, grabbed the gunman, disarmed him, and put him on the ground. And I don't know if he was holding him for police or what happened, but it looks like he put his weapon down and let the guy run away. My only problem with that is he should have shot him. I mean, he should have put a bullet right in his head. It's unfortunate that this happens and citizens have to get involved. And I'm not knocking police. They can't be everywhere all the time. I get that. And this just goes back to what I've always said. I'm a pro Second Amendment person. Everybody should be able to carry a weapon. If you can meet the qualifications, you should carry it. You should be allowed to carry it anywhere in the world. If there were armed people there, these three animals would have been put down like the sick dogs that they are before anybody got hurt. But Australia's got some very strict gun laws that obviously only law-abiding citizens will follow, while these animals don't, and they will hurt innocent people because there's no one there to stop them. So that happened today, earlier. Well, I don't know what the time difference is, either today or yesterday. On the first day of Hanukkah in Australia, 11 people were killed. It says 40 were wounded. And again, no one's screaming and crying about the Muslims. No one's saying they got to be stopped. We got to, let's boycott them. Let's stop buying anything from the Middle East. No, it's okay because they're just killing Jews. Killing Jews is acceptable now. It's fashionable. You're allowed to kill Jews and get a pass. You hurt a Muslim, you're the lowest form of life there is in the world, and you should be shunned from society and forced to live in the woods by yourself till you die. Don't hurt a Muslim, hurt a Jew. But it's not anti-Semitic either. It's not anti-Semitic to be like that. People make me sick. Here's some more from the since we're talking about Muslims, more from the Religion of Peace. Islamic preacher tells American Christians, don't you dare say Merry Christmas. By saying Merry Christmas, you acknowledge a satanic holiday. Your whole religion is a joke. Mine is not. There are people out there that will defend Muslims. And I'm talking in generalities. I'm not saying every Muslim in the world. I'm talking in generalities. I'm talking about the ones that have been radicalized. I'm talking about the ones like this, the ones that are shooting people because they don't worship their God. How many more people have to die before these idiots that defend them realize that these people would kill them too? If given the chance, they would kill the ones defending them. How many more people have to go? How many more people have to die before the real world realizes, hey, we got to do something about this? And then you have these morons online. Well, the Christians killed Muslims too. Yeah, we're talking about the Crusades in 525 AD? That doesn't count. Doesn't count. Let me know in the last 100 years when Jews or Christians, Buddhists, Amish, Catholics, Protestants, anybody willfully and purposely killed Muslim men, women, and children for no reason other than that they were Muslim wholesale. Let me know when that happened in the last 100 years. Someone tell me that. And you can't because it doesn't. Muslims are the ones that go kill people. They're the ones that throw homosexuals off rooftops, cut people's hands off, stone women for being in public without a male escort that's a family member. That's the dogs that do that. Those are the desert rats that hurt people. Nobody else does. And we need to accept that. We need to take that into our heart and realize these people do not want to be friends with us. They don't want to assimilate to our country or any other country. They want to dominate. And there's one or two things that we can do. We can allow that to happen, and then we have nothing to complain about. Or we can say, no, enough's enough. You need to leave our country immediately. Get out. You are not welcome here anymore. And every country needs to do that. They have their own section of the world, the Middle East. Let them go destroy that shithole more. Why do we import people that don't want to be in this country, want to change our country to theirs? The very country they left because they don't like it. Look at France. Look at England. Look at Norway. Look at all those countries that have let these people come in, and look at what's happening there. They're rioting. Rapes are up. Knife attacks are up. They are violent people. We need to get rid of them. Look at Japan. They don't let Muslims in at all. You can't immigrate to their country if you're a Muslim. They will not let you in. And they don't flower it up like, well, we just don't have the room. They say, no, you're a Muslim. You're not welcome here. Well, we won't allow you into our country. Poland will not allow Muslims into their country. And they don't flower it up either. They say, no, you're not welcome here. We don't want you here. China, well, that's not a big thing. China doesn't let anybody into their country, but they don't let Muslims into their country for the same reason. Muslims are a cancer. They are low IQ, low useful religion that thrives on murder. Everywhere they go, they destroy. They have not contributed anything to society that's useful the last 200 years. Nothing. They want to bring Sharia law to all the countries that they're in now. And I read to you Sharia law last weekend or last Sunday. It's barbaric. It's barbaric. But there are people that will defend them and say they have every right to be here. They have every right to be in this country and practice religion. Yeah, they do, but they need to keep their religion to themselves. They don't get to push it on people and force people to accept it. They're dangerous people. They don't even hide it. They don't hide it. It's not right. We need to do something about it before it gets worse in this country. And trust me, it can get worse. Like I said, look at France. Look at England. They're turning into third world nations. And in Africa, in 2024 alone, 4,476 Christians were killed for their faith by Muslims. 7,679 churches were burnt down by Muslims. 4,744 Christians were imprisoned by Muslims. 3,944 sexual assaults were committed against Christians by Muslims. 771,000 people, Christians, were displaced from their homes by, you guessed it, Muslims. And that's 2024. This year, since January, over 7,000 Christians have been murdered by Muslims in Africa. And nobody says a word about it because they're Muslims and they're allowed to do that. Can't blame them. There's always some reason why they're allowed to do it. Well, the Christians were doing this, the Christians were doing it. I don't care what they were doing. I don't care that they built a church near a mosque. I don't care. They have every right to do that. What you don't have a right to do is kill them and rape them and put them in prison for that. You don't have a right to do that. And I'm glad that Trump has already started to speak up saying if it doesn't stop, we will send the military in to make it stop. This is what you get involved with: murder, rape, and assaulting on a national level. That's what you get involved with. Not when Peru says, transsexuals are crazy. I don't care about that. When you're raping and killing people because they don't worship Allah, then you send the U.S. military in and you kick their ass again. And hopefully if we do it this time, we won't stop until we kick them completely out of that country. And then we'll hunt them down in the Middle East and kill them all then. Because that's what they're going to do to us if they're given the chance. They are not good people. And again, I'm speaking in generalities. They are not good people. How many Christians do you know, let's say from Italy, from the Vatican, Catholics. How many Catholics do you know that have gone out into Italy or other countries, raped and killed Muslim people for having a mosque, or imprisoned them simply because they're Muslim? Name 2 Catholics. Has the Pope ever said we should do that? Has any Catholic priest ever publicly said they should do that? No. You have imams that come out all the time and say that. All the time. And nobody says a word about it. They get a pass. They're a violent race of people. They're vile human beings, and they should be treated like the animals that they are. If you can't go into another country and assimilate and become a part and a productive member of that country, then you should not be allowed to stay. You should be moved out immediately. And at the bottom here, it's globalchristiansrelief.com. It's an organization that's helping Christians in Africa. I think they're trying to get them out or help rebuild churches or things like that. But there are other relief organizations you can look up online and find. Help them. Because mainstream media doesn't care. How many times have you heard about this on the news? You don't, but you hear about Muslims getting hurt every other day. You don't hear about the Jews getting raped and killed in Israel, but you hear about the Muslims living in tents because it's raining. We hear about that every day. So yeah, if you can give to that relief organization, that's great. If not, find another one you can give to. I'm not endorsing that relief organization. This network is not endorsing that relief organization. It's just the one that I found when I did a quick search. So don't think that that's an endorsement. It's not. Look into them yourself. So the religion of peace is hard at it, spreading the good word and forcing you to convert or be killed.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda, but America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
So yeah, we got a couple other podcasts. We have Damon the Hammer Galdo, who has his podcast and radio show. I was on his show last week. I think it was Friday night, I believe I was on there. Good guy, good show, had fun, smart guy. I like him. And then Alexandra Levine has her show, 2 shows during the week. Good chick, knows her stuff. Also, The Pulse, like I said, will be on this Wednesday at 8. That's when we all get together with special guests and just talk about everything that's going on during the week, not one thing in particular, lots of different stuff. And you get everybody's opinion on it, and we all kind of debate it, go back and forth. It's a pretty good time. That's this Wednesday at 8 on Rumble, on X, and some other channels you can find it on. Just got to look for it. And then, of course, you got me on Sundays at 7 till 8:30-ish. And I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. And I answer some questions if I can. We got an American First U.S. Navy guy on here who's actively text or putting stuff in the chat, and that's great. I agree with everything you said. Makes sense to me. That's simple. If you got something you want to say, you got a question you want to ask, just put it in the chat, and I promise I will try to get to it. If not, don't take it personal. I'm probably in the middle of something and just have it glanced over to see it, but I will get to it. So we talked about Australia, the people that were killed observing Hanukkah, the 16 people, the 3 gunmen. One was killed, one was wounded, and they're looking for a third possibly. And I blame the rise on anti-Semitism on the Free Palestine movement, accusing Israel of genocide, which is not true. It's a war. People die in a war. It's horrible. Nobody likes war. Nobody glorifies war, but people die. And if you don't want to fight a war, what you don't do is invade another country, rape and kill women, put children in ovens, and behead people and choke people, and then run away and go, okay, time out. We left. You can't do anything now. No, you do that, you're going to get hunted down. That's what's happening. Nobody said anything about October 7th. And that's what I was just talking about. Nobody's mentioned that. That's not a crying point for anybody. They're just upset that Israel fought back and is winning. I don't know what they expect. Well, I know what they expect. They want everybody else to lay down and die because that's the right thing to do. Don't fight back. That's mean. Let these people rape your countrywomen and kill your children and blow your buildings up. But don't fight back because you deserve it. Somewhere down the road, you've done something hundreds of years ago that you should be ashamed of, and they're just paying you back for it. Like that Joy Reid moron. Jingle Bells is a racist white supremacist song. These people breed, and that should scare you too. Yeah, I said it. Joy Reid said, I talked about it earlier. She said Jingle Bells is a white supremacist racist song and should be banned. I don't know. Like I said, I think she's been dropped on her head a few hundred times or hit in the head with a hammer, something. So yeah, anti-Semitism is on the rise everywhere in the world. There's attacks almost every once a week or twice a week in this country, synagogues being vandalized, Jewish people being shot. It's happening everywhere. And again, it's not getting any traction. You have Christians being killed wholesale in Africa by Muslims. Nobody's saying a word about it. It's hard to find it anywhere. But the Gaza tent city is all over the news because it's raining and they're flooding. That's what we all should be worried about. We shouldn't be worried about why they're there or how that all started. We should be worried about they're living in tents and it's raining and some of them are flooding. Yep, that's where our concerns should be. I'm not a very religious person and I'm not a biblical scholar, but I do remember reading something about a flood once before when a bunch of people pissed off God. He's like, okay, I'm starting over again. So maybe God's not on their side and he's trying to wash it all away again. That's what you get for raping people and putting kids in ovens and killing them and then calling your mother while you're doing it to brag about it. Hey, Mom, I just killed 10 Jews. They have that on tape. On October 7th, one of those animals called his mother on their cell phone, bragging about the 10 people he just killed, the 10 Jews he just killed. Hey, Mom, look at me. I killed 10 people. But we also got to remember that the people in Gaza don't support Hamas. They don't. It's not when they show the videos of the thousands of people dancing in the streets October 7th, that wasn't Hamas. That wasn't Gaza. That was only 10 or 15 people. It wasn't the thousands that it looked like. These people, I've told you, are dangerous. They don't want to get along with anybody. Their religion is based on submission. Other religions in the world are based on choice. That's all you need to know. It's only going to get worse. Y'all keep ignoring it, pretending like it's not happening, that they're not doing stuff up in Minnesota right now. That's not happening. Dearborn, that's not happening there. It's not happening in New York. They're not doing anything there. Not happening in Texas. It's not happening everywhere. Like, I don't remember what city it is, but now they have call to prayer at 5 a.m. They blast it out over loudspeakers in the city. People have complained and then they're told, you have no say in it. You just have to deal with it. They're allowed to do that. Y'all keep playing with these people. Keep defending them. Keep letting them come into your cities and do what they want to do. And before long, you're going to watch them beat your wife up because she didn't have a job on. And you're going to go, I wonder why this happened. Well, it's because of you slack-jawed yokel. You didn't want to stand up to them. And I'm sure y'all heard about this. This is just as horrible. Brown University. There was a mass shooting. I think 2 people were shot. 4 people were wounded. They've since have a person of interest they've arrested. This is just a map of the university. The highlighted part is where the shooting happened. That would have been the Brown's Boris Hawley building, home of the School of Engineering and the Physics Department, where students were taking their midterms. 2 people were killed, 8 critically injured, and when the attacker opened fire with a 9th sustaining injuries from bullet fragments. The victims are yet to be publicly identified, although the university president, Christina Park Paxson, has said she was told that parents have been told. University authorities became aware of the shooting at about 4:05 local time when emergency responders received a 911 call. The mayor of Providence, Mayor Smiley, told reporters. A person has been detained in connection with the university shooting. He's from Wisconsin. Authorities believe the person of interest traveled from Wisconsin to Rhode Island to carry out the shooting in Brown last night. Just another animal. The man detained as a person of interest in the shooting is 24-year-old Benjamin Erickson. 3 senior law enforcement officials briefed on the investigation told the reporters. It is not yet clear whether Erickson had any ties to the university. Officials are looking into any possible connection to Brown, as well as his mental health history, according to the sources. The attack was reported at 4 p.m., like I said, at the engineering building. It happened inside a first-floor classroom. The outer doors of the building were open at the time because exams were taking place. So this is going on. Police are going crazy. From what I've heard about from Mayor Smiley, he's been very, very professional. He's been keeping it very fact-based. He's not letting emotions run his press conferences. He's like, if I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I can't, I can't. I'm not going to get into maybes and possibilities. I'm going to deal with the facts that I've been told, and I appreciate that. And everybody else should, because there's enough idiots out there that would just run their mouth just to have something to say because there's cameras shoved in their face. He's not doing that. They have a video of the shooter. I'll show you that in a second. All they have a video of him walking down the street with a hoodie on, a dark hoodie. They believe that was him. And as soon as this happened, as soon as it was released that, hey, there's been a shooting at Brown, people are hurt, people are dead, a lot of liberals with nothing to do other than sit in front of their computers and wait for something to be angry about and respond to it. We're condemning gun laws and the Second Amendment. And Trump is to blame for this. Congress is to blame for this. And not one of those bastards blamed the shooter. It was everybody else's fault. Congress should be doing something to stop this. The president's to blame for this. Guns are to blame for this. Not once did they say the guy who pulled that trigger and killed those people is to blame for this. It's not his fault. It's everybody else's fault. Again, they're making him a victim because liberals are sick people. They don't deal with reality. They can't. They're so twisted and deviant in what they see, reality doesn't even enter to their mind. It's everybody else's fault. The shooter bears no blame. They haven't mentioned him once yet. It's Trump. Trump is to blame. Trump is the one that caused all this. It's because of what he's doing that this guy went in and shot people. How do you get from this guy driving from Wisconsin to Rhode Island, walking on campus, walking into a building and shooting people? How do you find out? How do you say Trump caused all that? I don't understand it. And what happened to blaming the person that actually committed the crime? What's wrong with blaming him? Trump didn't pull the trigger. The NRA didn't pull the trigger. Congress people didn't pull the trigger. This sick son of a bitch pulled the trigger and killed people. And we don't know why. And I've never understood that. We're going to wait to find out why he did it, what his mental status was, and then we'll get a better insight into the shooter's mind. I don't care. Nothing he's going to say is going to make me go, oh, why'd you only kill 2 people then? That makes complete sense. You should have killed them all. Nothing he's going to say is going to make sense. I don't care if he was mentally ill. That's not an excuse. This country's so quick to find excuses for poor behavior that we don't punish anybody anymore. There's always a reason why. We're more concerned with why he did it versus who he did it to. I'm more concerned about the victims. I'm more concerned about their families and the people that were killed. What are we going to do for them? How are we going to help them get through this? I don't give a shit about the shooter. Drag him out back, put him on his knees, and put a bullet in the back of his head to put him in a dumpster. That's what should happen to him. Discarded like an animal. You kill innocent people for no reason. You don't deserve to live anymore. You go into a college campus, you drive halfway across the country to kill people. You're sick. You're a sick person. And like I said, what do they think he's going to say that's going to be so profound that we're all going to be like, oh, okay, I can understand why he killed people. Okay, let's go easy on him. Let's go lenient. Let's blame everybody else. It is Trump's fault after all. He's the one who put the gun in his hand and told him to go kill these people. Once upon a time in this country, if you screwed up, you were held accountable. You had to explain the reasons behind what you did. You had to go to court. You went to jail. And nobody stood up for you. You killed 4 people? Good luck. Now people come out of the woodwork to defend people like this. Oh, he was mentally ill. Oh, it's not his fault. It's because guns are so readily available. If it weren't for that, he wouldn't have done this. Rhode Island has some of the strictest gun laws in this country. The strictest. And it still happened. But we're not going to blame the shooter. Can't do that. It's not fair to him. Because after all, he could have been mentally ill. And if he was that mentally ill, you're trying to tell me nobody in his life saw that? He just woke up one morning and all of a sudden he was homicidal? No warnings, no red flags, nothing. Up until now, he was a productive member of society, and just something happened last night. He snapped, got in a car, drove across the country to Brown University, and shot people. No warning. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Do I think that kind of stuff happens? I'm sure it does, but that's the exception, not the rule. People just don't wake up all of a sudden and want to go kill people. Things lead up to that. But we're gonna wait before we can, hold him accountable. Let's find out why, because that's what matters. No, it doesn't. What matters is what he did. Who did he hurt? And how we're going to help them. He should be a passing thought. Should be no time spent on him. I'm never going to mention that man's name again. And I use the term man very loosely. But yeah, that happened in Brown this weekend. And it's, again, the libs are going right towards, it's guns' fault. Guns, guns, guns. Trump, Trump, Trump. Not the shooter. It's never the shooter's fault. It's never anybody's fault as far as liberals are concerned. They're so wrapped up and concerned with what Republicans and conservatives are doing that they blame them for a dog getting hit in the street next to their house. It's Republicans' fault. It's because of conservatives. Trump did that. They've bought that far into their delusion that they can't accept anything else. Nothing bad happens in this world unless Trump is involved, or it's because of conservatives or Republicans. That's it. Nothing. It's the only reason bad things happen. Forgetting that, what was it, like 85% of all the violence in this country that's been done, like this mass shootings and stuff, are done by Democrats, registered Democrats. Very, very few, and slim to none does it ever happen from a Republican or a conservative or somebody like that. It's always some nut job on the liberal side of the fence that's out there killing folks. But it's Trump's fault. It's your fault if you're a conservative. It's my fault. It's everybody's fault but the shooter. We all should feel bad for him. And I'm serious. Go on X. Look at these posts. You will find more people condemning Trump than the shooter, which is disgusting and sad in itself, and these people should be embarrassed. But they don't, because to be embarrassed shows you have some intelligence and you realize you've done something wrong. They don't. It's everybody else's fault. This country's going to hell in a handbasket. I'm telling you. I think, like again, everybody should be armed. Everybody should carry a gun. I think Thomas Jefferson said it best. An armed society is a polite society. If you know the guy next to you has a gun, you're not going to, when he cuts you off on the highway, you're not going to give him the finger. You're like, oh, whatever. Because you know he's got a gun, probably going to shoot you if you get stupid with him. That makes perfect sense. And you got the internet, which I also think is going to be the downfall of society. Mike Tyson said that the internet has let people run their mouth and say whatever they want to say to people without fear of being punched in the face anymore. And it's the truth. You can sit on the internet and attack anybody you want. Say anything you want to say about anybody because you know they can't get to you. They don't know who you are. Your words on a screen. All the ballless wonders in the world now are tough guys. People who've never been punched in their face or punched anybody in their life are now legitimate tough guys, and they will tell you how badass they are and what they're going to do to you if they ever see you because they know they never will. And most of them are liberals. And I'm sure this shooter's probably liberal. Am I banking on it? No. And does it matter to me? No. I don't care if he's a conservative. I don't care if he's liberal. I don't care if he's Amish. I don't care if he's Buddhist. I don't care. All I know is he killed people, and he needs to be held accountable for it. Give him a trial. Once he's found guilty, execute him. Don't care what he is. That is unimportant minutia. Nobody should care. And they're saying they don't know what the connection is. There's got to be a connection. The guy drove halfway across the country to go there. There has to be a reason. Well, then again, it could be mentally. Again, it doesn't matter. This is just media trying to get views. Well, let's discuss his mental state or what kind of gun did he use or blah. None of this matters. It doesn't. And we got in this country, we need to start focusing on facts and get away from feelings. Like, well, I feel like you did. Nobody cares what you feel except your family. Nobody cares. I don't care what your opinion is on stuff. I don't know you. Don't care. If I don't ask for your opinion, I don't want to hear your opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one and they all stink. The only time it should matter to you when someone thinks about you or says about you or whatever is if they share your last name, share your bed, or pay your bills. Outside of that, shouldn't matter. Seriously. You think does it matter what your neighbor says about you? Do you care what your boss says about you? Your coworkers? That should not matter to you. They're not important. They don't do anything for you. So yeah, the guy in brown, let me show you the picture they have of him. Not of him, but that's who they think it is. I think that was on the sidewalk in front of the building. I don't see a gun, so I don't think he had like an AR-15, which is good because we have to hear about that again for 6 weeks about how evil AR-15s are. They haven't mentioned the kind of gun he's used in any of the reports I've seen, so it's probably not a rifle. It's probably a handgun, which most crimes are committed with anyway. But yeah, he does no visible weapon. I think this is him going to the building, not coming from. They have another video of him walking the other way, coming from the scene. But he's just walking nonchalantly like he's got, nothing but time on his hands. Goes and shoots people, kills 2 people. And then nonchalantly walks out of the building and leaves. I think they caught him 20 miles down the road at a Hampton Inn or something like that. FBI, local police, and U.S. Marshals. And again, they arrested him. And I kind of understand with this. They don't know for sure it was him. They have no solid evidence it was him that we know of. Who knows what evidence they have? But I would always assume that they had 100%. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, they knew it was a guy that did it. They have him. They see him. They've got evidence, physical evidence, eyewitnesses. Why arrest the man? Why go there with the intent of arresting him? He's a murderer. I don't want to pay for him. I don't want to pay for a trial. I don't want to pay to keep him. I don't want to pay for his medical or his food or anything else he gets. He didn't care about the people he shot. Why should we care about him? I'm serious. You kill people for no reason. You forfeit your life. It should be done. There should be no discussion No talk about a trial. No. You've killed people. You've just shown us that you cannot function in this society for whatever reason. You got angry, you were drunk, whatever. You can't function inside of society. So we need to remove you. It's that simple. It used to be like that. You kill people, you were killed. They didn't hold your hand and make sure that your rights aren't violated. But with this, I kind of understand. Like I said, there's not 100% proof as far as we know that it was him. He's still just labeled as a person of interest. So I kind of get it. We look at Australia, where they have the videos of the guy shooting at people. Those are the people I'm talking about should not be arrested. They should be shot on scene. Why? Why would you want to? Why? So they can spew their bullshit to the news. Well, we did this because Palestine, blah, 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 blah. No. We got to stop letting stupid people have a platform to spew their stupid shit to the rest of the world, because there are other stupid people out there that will listen to it and agree and carry on what these other stupid people started. It's just getting out of hand. And innocent people are paying for it. This guy's going to get 3 hots in a cot. There are people who are dead. There are people whose lives are forever changed. There are families that won't see their daughters or sons anymore. This guy will get a lawyer for free, become an internet sensation, and live a good life on our dime. That should aggravate you immensely. Should upset you. At the very least, it should perturb you at the very least. And it's not guns. Guns are not the problem. We've had guns in this country for years, for decades. Centuries there have been guns in this country. When I went to high school, people used to bring their guns into class to show the teacher the new gun they got. They'd have trucks parked in the parking lot with the rifle racks full of rifles. No school shootings. People didn't run into the school with a gun and start shooting people. That's new. That's a new thing in the last 30, 40 years. Not when I was in school. And I remember guys bringing 12 gauges into class, first period at high school, to show the teacher the new shotgun that their parents bought them for hunting. And nobody batted an eye. The problem is now we have parents that don't want to be parents, don't tell their kids no. Let them do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. So the first time they hear no, they think the world is coming to an end and they don't know how to react. So they lash out. We have zero tolerance policies for bullying in school that only protect the bullies. You pick on a kid enough, he's going to get the shits of it. And he's going to lash out. We are doing everything we can do to protect the criminal or the perpetrator of something and not the victim. We make excuses like it's Trump's fault for people to do this. And we don't hold the shooter accountable. We don't condemn his actions. Oh, they might do it later on down the road, but their first reaction, their initial reaction is to blame everybody else and not the shooter. They will stand on the dead bodies that person killed to point out that it's not his fault, it's Trump's fault. It's guns' fault. If there weren't guns, there'd be no murders in the world ever again, which we all know is bullshit. So yeah, they didn't show the weapon in this, so I'm assuming it's a handgun, so we won't hear much about that because they can't sensationalize that and go, oh my God, look, it's a tactical assault handgun. We got to ban them because they're tactical and assault weapons. And the funny thing is about an AR-15, and if you know about guns, then this will make sense to you. My 12 gauge that I have in my house is 10 times more powerful than an AR-15. If I had to choose what to get shot by, like if someone said, hey, we're going to shoot you in the shoulder, you're going to get shot, you just have to accept it. We can use an AR-15 or a 12 gauge shotgun slug. What would you rather be shot with? AR-15, any day of the week. 12-gauge shotgun slug will take your arm off. AR-15 will hurt. It'll put a hole in you, but you'll probably be able to keep your arm. People don't understand anything about guns. They just look at it. It's black. It's got a scope. It's got a little foregrip. That's dangerous. You look at a shotgun. It's long. It's like a regular old gun. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Not knowing that is more powerful and more deadly than the rifle they just looked at. It's just the rifle's scary looking. It's like when you watch the news and they talk about, like, what was it? I think it was in California. The AR-15, it was a congressman, I think, said the AR-15 can fire like 1,000 rounds in a minute, or some astronomically asinine statement, and the sheriff was behind him going, what? These are the people making laws that don't know what they're talking about and what they're passing laws about. You want to stop gun violence? Start teaching people about guns in school. Teach them how to use them responsibly. The gun is a tool, like a hammer or a saw or a fishing rod or a bow and arrow. It's a tool. And it's only as bad or good as the person using it. It has no soul. It is inanimate. It cannot make decisions for itself. It is a tool. Teach people how to use it properly. Take that fear away from them, because people are only afraid of things they don't understand. So if you understand it, there's no need to be afraid of it. Life goes on. Start teaching things that are useful. Start holding people accountable. Stop teaching feelings and what we'd like to have happen. Work in the real world. There are bad people in the real world, unfortunately. And there always will be. And there always has been. We need to accept that and start to deal with them. Stop making excuses. Stop giving them an out. Well, it wasn't my fault. They've already said it was Trump's fault. Can't be my fault. Like I said, it was the gun's fault. If I couldn't have got the gun, I wouldn't have shot anybody. We need to stop doing that. But it'll keep going because people vote on emotions, not on logic. And it's sad because, like I said, innocent people are paying. It's not criminals are getting caught up in all this. It's the innocent people who are going to pay the price for inept and impotent leadership. And there's really nothing you can do about it except vote. Get involved. Stop letting people that don't know what they're talking about represent you. Vote them out. Do something. Go to a local meeting of your county council or mayor or whatever, congressman. Go to their office and ask them questions. They work for you. It's not the other way around. We don't owe them anything. They owe us everything. And we need to remind them of that. You work for me. I pay your salary. You answer to me. I have questions. You will make time to answer my question. And if they don't, remember that. And then campaign against them when they run.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So that's Alexandra Levine. She's our White House correspondent. She gets to go to the White House for press briefings and things like that, which sounds pretty cool. I've never gone to one. I'm sure if I asked, she would take me to one so I could just see what it's about. Maybe I will. I don't know, but it's just neat. She gets to do that. So that's where we get all the inside information we get when we get it is from her. Again, we also have Damon Galdo, the Hammer, who has his own show and radio show on the America's Pulse Network. And you have me on Sundays and on Wednesdays on the Pulse on America's Pulse Network. Then we have Damon Sherrod, who's behind the scenes, the producer, making sure everything goes off without a hitch. So yeah. And if you're watching this, make sure you like, follow, and share this podcast or their podcast. our X page, our Rumble page, whatever. Make sure you're sharing it with people and you're following it. Just because. Why not? It's free, doesn't cost you a dime. So you might as well do it. Can't hurt. Or I don't know, maybe it can. I don't know. But yeah, those are the 3 podcasters. We have a couple other podcasters that'll be joining us after the new year. I don't want to get too much into that because I want them to introduce themselves and hear about them from them. But after the new year, we'll have a couple more podcasters on here, which will be neat. As long as they don't take my time slot, we're fine. I don't think anybody wants to take mine. 7 to 8:30 on a Sunday night is not like the prime time, which is fine with me. It's a slow evening. People are usually home. Most of the football games are over. People are just kind of relaxing, and they can turn me on and fall asleep to me or something. I don't know. Eat dinner. Or turn the volume down on the TV when the football game is on because most of those announcers are annoying. I remember, was it Chris Collinsworth? God, he could drive the Pope to murder. He was just, I couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand listening to him. So I would turn the volume down if he was the announcer just to watch the game so I didn't have to hear his dumb ass and his Captain Obvious statements every 30 seconds. And I live in Maryland, so Baltimore Ravens are the team here. And apparently, well, not apparently, I watched him kick the Bengals' ass. When I turned it off, it was like 17-0, and I'm sure they scored again. The Bengals really put up no fight. I used to coach football, so sometimes I like watching it just to see what's going on, but that was a very boring game to watch. No defense really from the Bengals. Kind of an embarrassing turnout for them. But I'm a Steelers fan. Yeah, I know. And they're barely squeaking by, so I expect them to be one and done again. Like they have the last couple of years, which is unfortunate, but I don't see a Super Bowl run this year. Patriots are looking tough, though. I think they have the best record in the league, I think. And it's been a couple of years since Brady left that they've been scraping bottom. And now what Mike Vrabel is the head coach. This is his first year, and he's turned that program around a lot. Like I said, they're got the best record, and they're definitely in the playoff hunt, if not the Super Bowl hunt, too. But that's what it is. So, yeah, just kind of watch me, share us, like us, follow us. Again, we have chat on all our podcasts, and even on Wednesday night on the Pulse. You have a question or a comment, just put it up, and we'll address it if we can. If not, one of us will get to it on one of our podcasts. Go, by the way, so-and-so said this Wednesday night. We forgot to get to it. So here's what we say. So we won't overlook you on purpose. And if we do, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So now we're at the part of the show where we kind of just run through a bunch of things. Not so much breaking and interesting, just news that I didn't think was that interesting or that breaking that I would put into the breaking and interesting part of the podcast. Kind of more of I call this whole segment brain freeze because these people really have brain freeze. Our first nominee for Houseplant IQ of the Year award is Amanda Seyfried. I've never heard the hell her name is. I know I've seen her in some movies. I can't remember which ones. Obviously, she's not a NASA candidate. She's not a member of Mensa. She thinks socialism is a gorgeous idea. Gee golly, I hope we become socialist. Yeah, that's what she said out loud. So there's 2 reasons why she would have made this statement publicly. First reason is her career is flagging. She's not getting any work. People are looking past her, so she has to remain relevant and in the news. So she makes statements like this, so she gets put out there. And maybe a producer will see her and need somebody to play customer 3 in scene 4, and she can walk by and get paid. Or she's really that stupid, really that uneducated, and thinks socialism is a gorgeous idea. Not knowing that 11 million people have died under socialist rule. People in socialist countries like her would be fed to wolves because she would be considered the upper class that we no longer need. And if she really wants to be a socialist, Nothing's stopping her from giving away her home and half her money to people that don't have it. I don't see her doing that. And I bet she never would. I bet you she doesn't even understand what socialism is. It just sounds like gorgeous. And it got her attention. And maybe it'll give her a movie part. It's like these other people in Hollywood. Oh, socialism is great. We need to do this. They don't give anything away. You don't see them letting people come into their house and live for free or move onto their property. You don't see them giving away what they earn to people that don't have. But they expect you to do it. You need to do that, not them. Rules are for thee, not for me. Same thing with her. She's not offering her money to anyone. She's not letting people come stay in her house or her property. That's her shit. She's not giving that away. But you will. And if you don't, you're a bad person. That's how Hollywood looks at it now. They've become self-important. And it's not self-important. We've allowed it to happen. We've actually listened to what they had to say outside of acting and given it weight and credence. Like, I don't care what your political leanings are. Dance for me. Entertain me. Tell me a story. Scare me. Make me laugh. Make me cry. But don't give me your political opinion on anything because I don't care. You're not that important to me. Now, I can't remember the last time I went to the movie theater. It's been a while. But yeah, there's another. And I think at this point it's safe to call her a B-list actress. Because again, I can't remember what I've seen her in. And I mean, I know her face, I know her name, I just don't remember what it was in. But yeah, she thinks socialism is a gorgeous idea. Some people just need to shut up. Stand there and look pretty. Another person that needs to shut up is the mayor of New York, mayor-elect of New York, Mandami. He's appointing a convicted armed robber to the public safety transition team, a felon. He's putting in charge of public safety or the transition team for public safety. I'm all for, hey, you've done your time, you've served it, you're straight with the house. You should go be able to do what you want to do. But this is kind of pushing that. Even for me, that's pushing it. You're a convicted felon of armed robbery. Why would anybody want you in charge of a public safety transition team? How is anybody going to take you seriously? You're a felon. You robbed somebody with a weapon. But now you're in charge of the public safety transition team. What the hell? I mean, I get that Mandami's a communist. He doesn't even deny it. But again, that makes him gorgeous in what's-her-face's eyes. But he's appointing criminals for public safety. New York's is gonna just disintegrate once he takes office. I don't understand. And I'll say this: I am not 100% Trump. It's not that the sun rises and sets on him for me. It's not from God's mouth to his ear. He is not perfection in the flesh. I agree with him about 90% of the time, 90 to 95, depending on what we're talking about. But I am not 100% all in with Trump. I've never been all in with any politician. And he's a politician at this point. He's no longer just a businessman. It's his second term, so he's a politician. I don't know why he invited this man to the White House, why he legitimized him being mayor. I don't understand that. And then was all friendly with him. Now I understand you don't want to get him in the White House and be on TV and being a dick to him. I get that. But why invite him anyway? Why in the first place did you have him there? You know what he's about. Now he's legitimate because the president of the free world invited him to his home and they had a conversation in front of the cameras. Now people are like, oh, he must be a really good guy, or the president would have had him there. And this is the guy putting convicted armed robbers in charge of the public safety transition team. This is the guy that wouldn't condemn October 7th. This is the guy that won't say Israel has a right to exist. In the city with the most Jews in this country. How he got elected, I'll never know. I won't know because there's a lot of stupid people that vote. But there's more Jews in New York and then that city than there are in the state of Maryland. And they voted for this guy. It's like letting the fox guard the hen house and then to be shocked when the fox starts eating chickens. No one should be shocked that he's appointing criminals and people with no background in the position he's appointing them to. This should not surprise you because he's a socialist communist. They don't make sense. They don't follow logic. Not at all. Never have. If you think so, can you name me one socialist or communist country where people have prospered and that they are a world leader in something ever in the history of the world? Name one communist socialist country that's done that. I'll wait. Not long, because you can't name one because it's never happened. Socialist and communist countries are oppressive. They kill people. They disappear people. They take property. They take your money. I mean, remember when Russia was in the swing? I think it was when Reagan was battling them. Like a loaf of bread in American money was like $700 because it was just ridiculous inflation over there. Like 7 families living in one apartment because you got assigned housing. I mean, it looks great on paper. You don't got to work. They feed you. They clothe you. They house you. All you got to do is be there. But it's not how it works in the real world. Like I said earlier, we need to deal in the real world. In the real world, there'll always be somebody who wants to be in charge. And that person in charge is going to get paid. He's going to want to be paid more than the other people. And he's going to want to hire people to work for him so he doesn't have to do all the work and get other people to do it. And that's where communism falls apart. Because everybody in the low end is so low they can't fight back. They have nothing. So you're either extremely poor or you're crazy rich. That's how it works. There's no in between. There's no middle class in a socialist communist society. It's poor, rich. That's it. But it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous idea, according to what's her face. What's her name again? I forgot it already. Amanda Seyfried, whatever her name is. And if you know who she is, let me know, because it's killing me now because I can see her face and I know I've seen something she's in, but I can't remember. So if you've seen her in something, let me know because it's going to drive me crazy. I can't remember. So yeah, convicts are running stuff in New York City. That's just awesome. Twice as many people consider themselves anti-Israel as pro-Israel in Britain. And why is that? Because they have more people from third world countries in the Middle East living there now than they had before. I think I read somewhere that 25 to 30% of all property owned in London now is owned by people from the Middle East. Not even people who are English. It's Middle Easterns now own more property than English people. Yep. But it's okay because just because you're anti-Israel does not mean you're anti-Semitic. Not at all. That's like saying if you're anti-Vatican doesn't mean you're anti-Catholic. Not at all. Yes, it does. Israel's the homeland of Jewish people. If you're anti-Israel and only Jews live in Israel, you're anti-Jewish. There's no way around it. Just like if I don't like the Vatican, you don't like Catholics. It's just how it works. And it's fine. Embrace yourself. Embrace who you are. If you're anti-Semitic, stop trying to split hairs and redefine words. And, well, it doesn't really mean that. Yes, it does. It does. You're trash. You're the stuff that accumulates in the corners of someone's mouth after they've been yelling and haven't had much to drink. That white foam, that's what you are. Just admit it. We're not as stupid as you are. We know what you are. Just admit it. Hey, I'm a racist. I'm a flaming anti-Semite. I agree with the Nazis. Hitler was a great guy. We should have helped him in World War II. Just admit it. I got more respect for somebody that just admits it than I do somebody that does it but lies about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're all equally trash, but at least one of them's being honest about it while the other's lying about it. And if you turn on some of these podcasts, and I'm not going to mention names because they don't need any help, that's all they talk about. How bad Israel is, how bad the Jews are. And that they're getting what they deserve. And, Israel killed Charlie Kirk. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I'm not going to say the person's name, but there's someone out there literally saying that Israel had Charlie Kirk killed. For what? I don't know. Why? I don't know. How it helped Israel? I don't know. But Israel killed Charlie Kirk. these people are out there. And they have millions of followers, which is just as scary. I don't know. Speaking of morons, 5 countries are boycotting Eurovision. I think it's like a singing, like American Idol, but only for Europe. They're boycotting it because Israel's committing genocide in Gaza. 5 countries have now decided to boycott Eurovision, and those 5 countries are Spain, the Netherlands, Ireland, Slovenia, and I think there's one more country that hasn't really come out, but there. So those are the countries: Spain, Netherlands, Ireland, Slovenia, and one more. Where is it? Well, I already said Iceland. Iceland's joined them. I don't know anything about Eurovision. I don't know why it's called Eurovision if Iceland's involved, because they're not in Europe. They're a little island next to Greenland, but they're involved. But they will not be involved because those bad Israelis are killing people wholesale, and they won't be part of it. And I think the Eurovision committee said, "Oh well, we'll miss you. Maybe you'll be back next year." And I think that's all. Like we don't care. You're not coming. Oh well. I'm sure we'll muddle through somehow without people from Slovenia singing here. It'll be tough, but we're going to make it. Iceland won't be here. The only person I know from Iceland is Bjork. And all I know about her is she screams and screeches and yells in her music. So I don't know why they even want Iceland there, but they won't be there. They're boycotting it. And I'm just going to say it. Israel is not committing genocide. I think at this point they're saying, was it the Gaza Ministry of Health, which should just be called, the Nazi propaganda machine, has said 60,000 people have been killed since the onset of the war, which should read, people have been killed in Gaza since October 7th when we invaded Israel and they fought back. But they're not going to say that. And they've changed that number several times. It's been 30, then it's 60. I think it was 40 at one point, went down to 20. Now it's back to 60. They changed the number because they're trying to get sympathy. Whatever number works that seems reasonable, they're going to use it. 60,000, I guess, is the number that seems reasonable. And it's been 60,000 for 6 months. And I know they're still fighting, so that goes to show you how accurate that number is and how honest it is. But they're saying 60,000 people have been killed since the onset, since they invaded Israel. They don't differentiate combatants and non-combatants. So what that means is Hamas fighters are lumped in with civilians. So you don't get an accurate count. So it could be 40,000 terrorists have been killed and 20,000 civilians have been killed. Or it could be 40,000 civilians and 20,000 terrorists. We don't know because they don't separate those people. They put them all together to make the number bigger and seem much more harsh. I think there's like 1.5 or 2 million people in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, and they've killed 60,000. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's war. It's horrible. People die, and it's not a good thing. Israel is technologically more advanced than Gaza. They controlled the air. They have tanks. They have all these things. If that country were really trying to wipe out and commit genocide on Gaza, I would think that number would be triple what it is now. 60,000 people does not scream genocide. 60,000 people screams war. There's a war going on. And when you're fighting an enemy that hides in schools and hides in hospitals and hides in communities and attacks from there, to kill them, you have to go where they're at. It's not Israel's fault that Hamas hides in hospitals. It's not Israel's fault that Hamas uses schools for weapon depots. It's not their fault. They have to go where they're at and kill them. So they're not committing genocide. This is just what it is. They're probably afraid they can't win. So they're just going to bow out and use this as an excuse to try to save some face. Well, we're not going to do it because Israel's involved and they're committing genocide. The whole time we have no talent. We're going to get our asses kicked and embarrassed on an international stage. We don't want that. So we're trying to save face. Here we go. I don't know if you know about it. And if you don't, it's because you don't have electricity. But Navy beat Army. Second year in a row. We beat them. Close, but we won. It was a good game. I don't know if you watched it, but it doesn't matter because Navy won, Army lost. Nothing else matters. Just the final score. And the final score said Navy won. They got to keep the Commander-in-Chief's trophy for another year, and they kept bragging rights. And possibly next year it'll be a third year in a row that they get to keep it, but we'll find out. And I'm just going to enjoy right now. I don't care about next year yet. It's crazy stuff out there. And in case you don't know, I kind of talked about it before, Hanukkah started this evening. So anybody that's celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. And for all those who don't know what Hanukkah is, it's the Festival of Lights. Hanukkah commemorates the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem after a group of Jewish warriors defeated the occupying Greek armies. The festival celebrates the triumph of light over darkness and spirituality over materialism. Where is the other part? In the 8-day celebration, the Maccabees, as the rebels became known, Israelis, cleansed and rededicated the temple. According to the Talmud, there was only enough consecrated oil to relight the candelabra for 1 day, yet it miraculously remained lit for 8 days. Thus, the 8 days of Hanukkah, the menorah has 8 candles, celebrated at sunset. It's a big party. You spin the dreidel, eat like a pig. It's a fun time. So that happens now, and it goes to the 22nd, I believe, right before Christmas starts. And then Christmas. We don't know what Christmas is. I don't need to get into that. And if I got to explain Christmas to you, that's just kind of crazy. Well, before we wrap it up, we're at that point of the show where I like to read my opinion. And again, it's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. Heck, you can turn it off now and leave. Just my opinion. I'll share it with you, and then we'll call it an evening. The rise of anti-Semitism in recent years, particularly since October 7th, 2023, when Hamas attacked Israel, represents one of the most severe escalations of anti-Jewish hatred in decades. Data from multiple independent sources paint a consistent picture. 2024 marked record-breaking levels of incidents globally and in the United States, with sustained elevated activity into this year. This is not a fleeting spike, but a persistent threat, disproportionately affecting Jews, who comprise just 2% of the U.S. population and a tiny fraction worldwide, while drawing ideology extreme from the political spectrum. In the United States, there have been 9,354 anti-Semitic incidents in 2024 alone, including assaults, harassment, vandalism, and a 5% increase from 2023, and the highest since tracking began in 1979. This equates to over 25 incidences per day. FBI hate crime statistics corroborate the trend. Anti-Jewish incidents rose to 1,938 in 2024, a 5.8 increase from 2023, compromising nearly 70% of all religious hate-based crimes, despite Jews being only 2% of the population. Globally, the picture is equally as grim. There have been 6,326 incidences in 2024, a 107.7% surge from 2023. Other reports have noted a 340% increase compared to 2022. Countries like France saw over 350% rise, the UK 450%, and Australia 387%, which just went up today with the killing of 16 people. Early 2025 data shows no sharp decline. On campuses, anti-Semitism has been particularly acute. 1,694 incidences in 2024, 84% higher than in 2023, comprising 18% of all U.S. incidents. International tracking record highs in the 2024-2025 academic year, with shifts towards online harassment, but declines in physical assaults and vandalism. These figures are substantiated by law enforcement, FBI, and academic monitors. While methodologies vary, ADL includes non-criminal acts. FBI focuses on crimes. The convergence across sources underscores a real widespread escalation. The October 7th attacks, which killed 1,200 plus Israelis and took hundreds of hostages, triggered an immediate global backlash against Jews, unrelated to the subsequent Gaza war. Studies show that 58% of the 2004 U.S. incidences were Israeli or Zionism related, often manifesting at anti-Israel protests with anti-Semitic slogans, chants, or imagery. This criticism of Israel veers into tropes of Jewish control, dual loyalty, or dehumanization, and has normalized old stereotypes under new guises. Ideologically, the surge spans the spectrum but shows clear patterns. Critics argue some accounts overclassify anti-Israel activism as anti-Semitic. Yet even adjusted analysis and FBI crime data confirms unprecedented levels. Anti-Semitism is not inevitable. It thrives on silence, polarization, and ignorance. Confronting it across ideologies, left, right, and Islamist, requires moral clarity. Hatred of Jews is never justified, whether cloaked in politics or outright bigotry. Only unfiltered resolve can reserve this dark trend. Racism in any way is unacceptable. When you start killing people and hurting people and destroying property, it makes it even worse. And it's getting worse for the Jews. It's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. Just how I feel. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. I know you have other things you could be doing, like watching football. But thank you. I appreciate it. And again, I'm not here to change your mind or make you think the way I think. I'm just here to share my opinion and give you another school of thought and maybe give you something else to think about. But thank you. I appreciate your time. And I guess I will see you all Wednesday on the Pulse at 8 o'clock. That'll be on Rumble or X. And remember, if you live your life based on principles and not a political party, you're going to lead a very good life and leave something behind for your family to be proud of.
This is your Captain Seth. Thank you for watching this voyage of the Conservative Corner. Use your hook to click subscribe. That way, when the flag is raised, the next voyage is about to start. Also, share a drink with your other mutineers to join you on deck for the next voyage. We look forward to you shouting on upcoming voyages. Or, you will walk the planks. Season greetings. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, and raise your mug to the new year.